This is Charlie Parsons for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Joined here, not the first time, but I don't think I've interviewed you too many times before, Skye. Skye Nicolson. The fans in the UK are no stranger to yourself, obviously an incredible amateur pedigree. Let's just start off. 12 months ago, you hadn't even made your professional debut. You've since boxed in New York, San Diego, Leeds, Cardiff. You now fight in Australia in your next fight. How weird and sort of special have these last sort of 12... I suppose it's not even been 12 months, really. How has that been, I suppose, adapting to everything?
Yeah, it's like I just said to you off camera. It's been like a world tour. But no, it's been a whirlwind year. And yeah, I honestly, 12 months ago, I was just home from the Olympics, didn't really know where I was going, what I wanted to do next, and I couldn't have asked for a better year. It's been amazing and absolutely no regrets.
You sit here as a fighter who's fought on all of those cards, something that I suppose people could dream of after long careers. How is it sort of keeping yourself grounded? Because I suppose a lot of the guys in the gym, you know, some of them today have been speaking to me about frustrations and setbacks. Since you've started, not lucky because you're a very, very talented fighter and obviously the guys at Matchroom see that, but I suppose it's about relishing the opportunity and making the most out of this activity on the biggest scales possible for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I knew what an amazing opportunity Matchroom presented me when they wanted to sign me, and I took it with both hands, and I made the leap. I moved to the other side of the world on my own, and I'm doing everything I can to be the best boxer I can be, and to take those opportunities and run with them. So, no, it's been a whirlwind year, but also I have huge goals and big things that I want to achieve in boxing. So really, this is just the beginning.
Well, I was sat with Eddie's missus, weirdly enough, in New York after the day of the fight, and we were chatting away for hours, and obviously I think your family have made it out there because you've got Scottish heritage, I believe, but obviously, you know, you've made the move. Sort of, how did that all come around? Obviously, the offer was proposed by Matchroom, and sort of, how have you adapted? Because you're on the other side of the world. I mean, I think from what I'm hearing from Eddie, you guys are going to have to fly to LA and then stop off in LA and then do two 11-hour flights back to back. So, you know, it's not always straightforward.
No, yeah, the travel to Australia is pretty mental, but I'm definitely no stranger to it. I've been travelling to and from Australia my whole boxing career as an amateur as well. So, yeah, the long haul flights are rough, but
Getting used to them.
Yeah, but being here in the UK, I'm getting the preparations that I need for these fights. I'm developing so much as an athlete, as a person, as a fighter. So, I'm very happy with the decision I made to come over to the UK for my boxing. I was actually here on a training camp with the Australian team when I signed with Matchroom at the end of last year. And that was when I came to the iBox gym and met Eddie and Al and everyone here. And from the first time I stepped into this gym, I just knew this is where I needed to be. And we all just clicked straight away, and I just felt that sense of home here. And I felt comfortable in my decision to come do my training here.
Well, you talk about being here. Obviously, you're around guys with, you know, you've got. I suppose it's nice when you've got a gym where you've got, you know, the talented guys at sort of the start of the food chain. I know your progression may be a little bit quicker, but you know, you've got the guys in the middle of their careers. You've got guys coming off defeats. You've got guys coming off career wins. I suppose when you've all got that around you, you're all at different points, you can all sort of give each other different feedback at different points of your career, and especially when you get on as well as you do. I know you've only just sort of got here, you've been sparring today, but everyone's bouncing off each other, and what everyone says, a happy fighter is a very dangerous fighter.
Definitely. I feel like the vibes in the gym are so good. I get along with everyone in the gym. We all get along really well. We've got great relationships, and we work together as a team. We push each other in the gym, and I think that helps all of us get the best out of each other. There's a lot of times where we're watching each other on the pads or sparring or whatever it might be, and if we see something, we feel comfortable enough to say it to each other and give each other that criticism, but obviously constructive criticism, and we're always open to hearing each other's ideas, and I think that's how you build a gym of great fighters, because we all bounce off each other.
You fight Christina Jacobs next, who is 6-3 Aussie herself. What do you expect going into that fight? I can't sit here and pretend I've seen her box before, but you would have sort of been able to have a look at what you can, and obviously you're a very seasoned amateur. You've got all the pedigree in the world, but I suppose a homecoming for yourself, and also, in your first all Aussie clash.
Yeah, I'm so excited for the all Aussie clash. I've never met Christina Jacobs in the ring. We've never sparred or fought in the amateurs, but she has met a few mutual opponents to me. So I guess I've kind of taken that on board, and we have studied her a little bit. We've got a game plan, but obviously always open to adapt as the fight goes on and see how it goes. But no, I feel really good. I'm so excited to be boxing an Aussie in front of an Aussie crowd. And yeah, like I said, the homecoming.
For you, obviously, that amateur pedigree that I talk about. But in terms of the professional career itself, a lot of people always sort of touch on the knockouts. I know in the women's game it's slightly different. You've got the 10-2s. But for yourself, it's not a pressure that you'll want to put on yourself, because when you're performing the way you are, then what's the issue? People are impressed already. But I suppose when you're getting into these big fights, the stoppage is always sort of the cherry on the cake, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is my first full camp as a professional. Even for my debut, we probably only did about 6 weeks, 5-6 weeks together, training as a team and as a professional. Before then, I was amateur. So, and obviously we had those fights all back to back. There was only about 4 weeks between each one. So, I came back to the UK after a little break at home after my last fight, and we've done about 12 weeks here, and we've still got just under 4 weeks to go. So we've done a full camp for this, and yeah, the stoppages will come. I don't really feel the pressure for the stoppage, but I understand it is the entertainment game as well. Professional boxing, it's a business really, so and entertainment sells. We've definitely been working on strength, power, and I hope that I can show that in this next fight.
Of course, and then I suppose for yourself, I think we caught up briefly on the Cordina Agawa fight week, and I know everyone always says to you world titles, which is crazy really, considering, like I say, 12 months ago you weren't professional, but when you've got the pedigree and you're making the sort of opponents that you are, not look bad, but just doing it with ease kind of thing. I suppose that's where world title contention comes in. Eddie spoke about it. Both Eddies have spoken about it, in fact.
Ed and Eddie.
Yes. For you now, is that, I suppose, we'd both be lying if you said you hadn't got one eye on it, because who doesn't dream to be a world champion? But sort of how long in your career progress from now do we expect to see you maybe fighting for that first world title?
I would love to fight for my first world title probably within the next 6 months from now. So I ideally would love to do it within a year of my pro debut, just because I think that would be pretty cool. But obviously we're taking it fight by fight. We're going to make sure we move me at the right pace, fight all different styles of opponents, and just keep ticking those boxes. And when the opportunity comes, we'll know that I'm 100% ready for it, and I feel ready for it. I'm ready to take on the best in the world, and it's only a matter of time now.
Well, I've got to ask you about the other Aussie in female boxing setting the world alight, Ebony Bridges. I see that she's obviously, I think Matchroom have just won the purse bid for her all Aussie clash. All the all Aussie clashes are coming in at the minute. Especially, yeah, exactly. For that fight that she's in, a tough fight, I think maybe not a fight that she particularly wanted, but to keep her belt, it was ordered the purse bids, maybe better than a routine challenger. I don't think necessarily the fight will land in Australia. I know Leeds is now December 10, I believe, so I'm not sure when she will be out. I imagine she'll want to be out earlier than December 10, but Leeds is where she's got that big crowd in the UK here. How does that fight for Ebony go down in the defence of her IBF title?
I wouldn't say that Ebony didn't particularly want that fight. I think she would have liked or preferred to have had a voluntary defence first, which was fair enough, but Shannon was mandatory, and that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I've sparred both girls. I actually rate Ebony for the win for this fight. I think she's stronger. I think she's come on leaps and bounds since also relocating and training under Tibbs here in the UK. I think it's going to be an all-action fight, but I see Ebony being the winner of that one.
And then just finally from me, female clash between Shields and Marshall was obviously cancelled and postponed until October the 15th. We now have the rescheduled date, the rescheduled fight week. It's going to be difficult for the fighters because, I mean, literally your weigh-in day, 1 p.m, 3 p.m, 1 p.m, 3 p.m, it was pushing back. You know, when you're making weight, you're having to maintain it. You do it for a certain time. You've got nutritionists to then be told 5 weeks or whatever it is. It's not ideal. How will these girls be mentally? I suppose it's not even just the main event fighters, it's the guys lower down on the card as well, you know, who rely on this as a payday, and it was that all-female sort of special card.
Yeah, like I felt for absolutely everyone on the card. It was very unfortunate circumstances and timing. I was quite grateful I wasn't one of those ones waiting to weigh in or not weigh in or weigh in or not weigh in. But at the end of the day, I know you've got to push back another 5 weeks, but I guess for me it would just be they're in the same boat as me. Yeah. They're going through the same thing. Yeah. They were peaking for this date as well, and now they've got to push on for 5 weeks as well. Who wants it more? And that would definitely be my drive and my motivation for, like, if that was me in that situation. I think the girls are still going to shine. I think it's going to be a great night. It'll probably be on about 4 hours after me because I'll be in the time zone ahead over in Australia on the same day. So it'll be a great day of female boxing.
And then just, I think I said finally from me, but may as well do one more when I've got you. Obviously, you speak about world titles and the contention and stuff like that itself, but if you do win this world title within 6 months, obviously you're still only young and you know, it's not like, obviously you've got that massive amateur pedigree, but within 12 months of winning a world title, I imagine you will want to move up the divisions, but you won't want to rush everything. Yeah. So how do you hit that sort of sweet spot between getting that world title within 12 months, but then also not pushing yourself further than you perhaps should at a certain amount of time and moving up the weights and conquering the belts, that sort of thing? Yeah,
well, I believe I mix it with the best now. So I think in 6 months' time from now, I'm going to be even more developed. I'm going to be more experienced. And I've got a really good team around me that I trust. I know my team's going to move me at the right pace. We're going to fight the right fights at the right time. And we'll look to unify. We'll look to go undisputed. We'll look at multiple weight divisions. The options are endless. So I'm very, very excited. And there's still a good chance that I'm probably going to go back for the Paris 2024 Olympics as well. I've wanted to be an Olympic gold medalist for a long time, and that's just another box that I want to tick off.
Well, Skye, we'll leave it at there. Thank you very much. Enjoy your training and not long till fight night. Just a final message to the viewers.
Thanks, Charlie. Tune in October 15th. Can't wait. The homecoming.